The Masterclass series is graciously funded by the National Endowment for the Arts. Art Works. In an age where college funding is limited, education resources are questionable, and arts programs are being cut, the Coalition for African Americans in the Performing Arts, better known as CAAPA, has stepped up to the plate. Inspired by CAAPA as part of its commitment in supporting classical music education and performance artists throughout the United States and abroad, we offer the Masterclass series. CAAPA marries serious music students with acclaimed music masters of color, targeting historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, high school performing arts schools, and music conservatories, including the universities of Alabama State, Clark Atlanta, Fisk, Hampton, Howard, Lane College, Morgan State, North Carolina Central, Spelman College, Virginia State, and Xavier University of Louisiana. Since its launching in 2014, the Masterclass series helps students work on technique, improve stage presence, fine-tune performances, and build self-confidence. While emphasis is placed on classical music students to participate in the Masterclass series, audiences and faculty members are also encouraged to attend the free-to-the-public sessions. An exciting and fresh way to help CAAPA bring color to the classics. The Coalition for African Americans in the Performing Arts, in partnership with Bowie State University, presents the Masterclass series, the premier Black classical music masterclass series.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Contralto Gwendolyn Brown's 30-year international career includes performances in opera, symphonic music, classical art song, and spirituals, as well as the contemporary and the avant-garde. Critics have stated Brown's dusky voice inhabited the music so completely the audience was spellbound. Her stirring solo voice can rise above the crowd and harness audience attention. She has performed in many opera houses, including the Lyric Opera of Chicago, Washington National, Seattle, and New Orleans, just to name a few, and many symphony halls, including Boston Symphony, the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic, and Tanglewood. Internationally, she has performed in Germany, Spain, Amsterdam, Australia, and the United Kingdom.
And there's blood up in your songs, yeah right, the dance return in your bones, and the murders in your songs. You're a pretty bad thing, you see.
Originally from Memphis, Tennessee, Gwendolyn obtained her Bachelor of Arts in Music at Fisk University, where she is the Assistant Professor of Music and Voice and Opera Workshop. She pursued her master's degree in vocal performance at the University of Memphis and completed the same degree at the American Music Conservatory, where she is currently pursuing her PhD.
Which sin to bear, which crown to put upon my
Facilitating today's masterclass is Contralto Gwendolyn Brown.
I do not know.
Hello to everyone and welcome to CAAPA's virtual masterclass series. My name is Angela Renée Simpson. I am the program director and the host of this series. I would like to thank Bowie State University and its music department for agreeing to partner with us today in bringing color to the classics. To the BSU students who are observing via Zoom, we will have a short question and answer session after Ms. Brown finishes working with Mr. Ingram. Please feel free to use the chat button and any questions you may have. And those who are watching on Facebook Live, please post your questions in the comments. Now, without further ado, I bring to you our music master contralto, Gwendolyn Brown, followed by BSU senior soprano, Ms. Jamari Blagmon.
Ms. Blagmon, whenever you're ready, just go ahead and start.
All right, thank you.
Brava, wonderful. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What are your goals, aspirations, all of that?
Well, I have been in classical music for about 12 to 13 years now, and I want to be able to audition for the Washington National Opera and possibly go on from there, but we're still working it out as of right now.
Cool. And what classification are you again?
Senior.
You're a senior. So are you planning on graduate school? Cool. Have you gotten
We're still thinking.
You're still thinking about it? May I advise you, first of all, beautiful presentations on today. It was just wonderful. It's wonderful to hear this art song. This is one of my favorite Fauré pieces. May I advise you, start looking into graduate schools. I know many classical singers want to go straight into the performance career itself, but graduate school will help you refine those skills, give you some stage experience that you may not get going straight into it. Connects you with people that are already or have already been in the field, and gives you that calm assurance in knowing that you got what it takes to do it. And you'll have professors that will help you on that journey as well, as the professors at Bowie State I know have been helping you with this journey as well. So think about that and give yourself a good list of 7 graduate schools that you really want to go to. And I'm certain that your professors and others that you may know can help you out with finding out graduate schools that are cool for you. So that's just advice on that end. So let's get back to the song here. Tell me how you are interpreting the song as far as what it means, all of that.
Okay, so the character that I'm playing is in love with someone and they've been dreaming about them, but every night they wake up, so they want to return back to that dream of being in love and being with that person.
That's it. That's pretty much it. The last lines of it, and this is for those who don't have the translation. Alas, alas, sad awakening from dreams. I call to you, O night, give me back your illusion. Return, return in radiance. Return, O mysterious night. So yes, it is about the night itself. It's about wanting those dreams to come back and wanting the night to not ever end. So that's cool. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions interpreting. A few times I've seen that you're singing through commas in Fauré. For example, je t'appelle aux nuits, rends-moi tes mensonges. You sung through that comma, as well as reviens, reviens, radieuse, reviens, aux nuits, mystérieuse, all that is one phrase. I would like to know why you're singing through the commas there.
Well, when we were learning it, my teacher would have me build up on that energy, so not break the phrase.
Not break the phrase. Okay, I understand that. But here's the thing: the one thing about Romantic era art song, especially Fauré, when we're seeing these commas and everything else, he is, unless of course he says otherwise, he's really meaning a type of pause. It does not necessarily have to get in the way of the lyrical line. Je t'appelle and so forth and so on. It doesn't have to necessarily get into the lyrical line, but it's part of the expression of what you're saying in the piece. Alas, alas, for example, hélas, hélas, I call you all night. Those commas are part of the expression of the poetry. Now, I don't want to disturb what your professors are helping you do, but that's one thing about the Romantic era art song. The poetry itself has to also be expressed just as much as the lyrical line musically itself. And that's why it's called an art song. The poetry, the poet gets his due in the words. And of course, you have your due in what you are singing. And of course, the accompaniment has what they do in the piano. All 3 elements really make that art song shine. So when we sing art songs, and I love singing art songs, sometimes if I were to just do art song recitals for the remainder of my career, I'm cool, I'm satisfied. But one thing amazing about art songs, it has its own amazing expression in a small capsule of time, unlike singing a role in an opera where you at least have 2 hours to develop it. At least in an art song, you barely have anywhere between 2 to 6 minutes, depending upon who composed it, to develop it. And within that time, you don't have time to think about it while you're singing. It's all the way through. Your thought process is beautiful, and I can hear that in the music. I can hear it also in your breathing and in your support. Um, be careful of taking these catchy breaths. Just stay in that support. Stay in that beautiful line. Um, can we start from the beginning?
Yes.
There was a couple of liaisons that you missed. Tes yeux étaient plus doux. That one does need to align. The X becomes a Z and goes over to an E, and that becomes a liaison. If you are going through commas, then you need to make up for those liaisons as well. For example, je t'appelle aux nuits. The L's do go over. This is an elision. The E drops off. The L's go over if you're going to do that. That's why it's good to just go ahead and take the break at the comma. And usually with the comma also, that also implies that there should not be an elision. But in this art song, we should also take in consideration the commas as part of the expression of the poetry. Reviens aux nuits, if you're taking, if it should never be an elision there. So take a breath there. Reviens, hélas. The S's on hélas, I don't know if I heard them, but I'm certain you sang those. There was an avec around here somewhere. That's right. Pour m'enfuir avec toi. The C is pronounced in avec. I have to always look that one up myself. I'm like, is the C pronounced? Is it not pronounced? But the letter C at the end of French words is one of those consonants that is consistently enunciated. So can we start from the beginning? I want you to get carried away within the words and within the poetry, well, within the poetry and within the music. Of course, through a Zoom transaction, it's kind of hard sometimes to hear the collaboration between you and the pianist, who, by the way, is playing this beautifully. But I really want to feel, I really want to feel this beautiful expression between you, the poetry, and the accompaniment. So get carried away. Do you know these words word for word?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I want to hear that, because sometimes when we are singing art songs, of course, when we're learning it, we're just trying to get through learning it. But when we understand what words get the expression, what words get the accent, or what words get that leaning in, so to speak. If, for example, in Italian, what words get the stress. In French, really what words get the attention, what words are pulling us into the poetry. Dans un sommet, que charme ton image. Image, I mean, that alone pulls me in. So let's bring some importance to some of those words. Don't stress them because we're in French, but at the same time, let me feel that emotion. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Stay in that breath as you're singing, and allow that lyrical line just to take us somewhere for roughly 3 minutes of this piece, or less than 3 minutes for this piece. Let us take us there, okay? I may stop you along the way. Stop you right there. Very good. It's going to be hard to. Sounds like we got a good Zoom connection here, because sometimes when I'm telling someone to stop, it's 7 minutes, 7 seconds later, and all of a sudden they stop. But it looks like we got a good Zoom here. Can this que charme ton image be more lyrical as opposed to que charme ton image? Yeah, can it be a little bit more lyrical with that, with those triplets there? Okay. Let's try that again. Dans un sommeil. Sommeil. Very good. Thank you. Auto Mirage, are you pay attention a little bit more to that hairpin up above there? Auto Mirage, can that mirage fade a little bit more, perhaps?
Okay.
Come off your score. You know this music. Come off the score. You know this. Yeah, come off the decrescendo a little bit more so that I can have that phrase bloom and um, cause us to go, oh, this is so beautiful. Because I'm being slightly nitpicky because what you gave me at the beginning of this whole thing was just perfect, was just beautiful. I'm just being a little bit nitpicky. I don't have to really worry about your technique. There are times that you kind of come off the breath when you're not the breath. You don't come off the breath. What am I trying to say? You come off of your support. You lose slight engagement. Just stay engaged throughout the whole piece. All of us get that way. Sometimes we just want to rest in the middle of it all and just come back into the engagement. Just stay into your engagement of your support until you are done, because this piece does demand a little bit of it. Can we go back to the beginning again? And I'll keep going. I won't disturb. But what you're doing, if you have any questions along the way, please stop me and let me know. And don't worry, Miss Simpson is keeping the time on all of us here. So let's start from the beginning again. Give yourself some more air. On that comma, go ahead and keep that phrase. Tes yeux étaient plus doux, ta voix pure et sonore. Keep that phrase all the way, that phrase continuous. Did you run out of breath there?
I did.
So let me ask you just a simple question. Do you really plan your breath? You know, this is a long phrase. I got to make sure this breath is. How did you run out of breath? In other words, you just basically came to the end of your support line, or you just thought, oh, I forgot, I have to do this a long phrase?
Well, I wasn't seated in it very well, but
Yeah.
I was thinking too much about how I wanted to express it more than my breath. So I
Yeah.
in that.
No, that's nothing wrong with that, because in the process of practicing, master classes are a way of adding to your practice routine. I always think of it that way. Some people use master classes as their performance opportunity to be heard and seen. That too is fine, but it is part of your practice routine. That's why we do these master classes, to help it. So now you know, okay, if I'm going to express it more and everything else, yeah, I may need to either make sure that I am using my breath wisely. I try to advise people, it's not a matter of trying to take a whole lot of breath in. No, you use what you got, and it's learning how to use that breath wisely through a phrase, how to allow that air to flow and to support air to do what it has to do. Cool. We don't have to start from the beginning. Can we start from tes yeux étaient plus doux? Stop right there. Stop right there. Let me just pick up one word. And you're taking the breath. Éclairé par l'aurore. L'aurore. Can I have the AU combination right there? L'aurore. Because it's simply coming out l'aurore, but it is l'aurore. We need to have that AU combination in French there. That's the only diction part there. I'm going to go ahead and go forward on Ti m'appelais, but that's the only diction I wanted you to make sure you check on. Everything else is beautiful. Ti rayonnais comme un ciel éclairé par l'aurore. at some point in your career, it'd be great if you can do that all in one phrase. It'd be
Okay.
great if you can.
Mhm.
Train yourself to do that because it's so beautiful if you can do that in one full phrase because we have this hairpin here. You see that delayed hairpin on éclairé l'éclairé par l'aurore. We have that delayed hairpin. One thing about hairpins is that it's meant to kind of stay in a phrase of mind as opposed to breaking that hairpin sometimes. Sometimes, of course, we will see uh, um, rest marks, etc. But it'd be great if you can just do all of that in one phrase. You don't have to try it now unless you want to.
Um, Try now.
You want to try it?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you just conserve the air. Again, you don't have to take any, you may have to take a little bit more air than what you did as you were breaking the phrase, but just conserve that air. The words are simple. You don't have to do any hard enunciation. Let's try it. Let's start from tes yeux étaient plus doux so we can come into that rather than starting cold on that top phrase. You almost made it. Yeah, but
Almost.
that's a goal. That's a goal. Yeah, you can still keep the phrase broken, but
5 minutes, Miss Brown, 5 minutes.
what? All right, so that's a goal. Let's keep going. T mapale, and always the U is the E, not a U.
Right.
So T mapale. Build up. Yeah, build up a little bit. Now we're coming into a build up to this wonderful forte hélas. You have a crescendo coming in on Liere Divines Entreville. You have that crescendo coming up. So start building that crescendo to where the hélas comes out so not loud as in blast my ears off, but loud as in okay, we only got 3 minutes or so. Start on Splendor, Zagonia. Can you start on Splendor? Such a beautiful job. A couple of things to help you out as well. When you're working with a collaborator, you have a voice that can get softer than soft. So you have to tell your collaborator, maybe soften a little bit more around where she is. That becomes, and in as much as I tell collaborators this, I tell the singers their job to work with the collaborator and say, I'm getting softer here. Can we kind of get a little bit softer here? And also with the collaborator, understand their intent in the music. So you can understand where they're interpreting the song and how you're interpreting as you both work together. That's what makes art songs so beautiful. Listen, my dear, I can't wait to see what life has in store for you in the future. Hope to see you on some stages one day soon. You're doing well and you're on a wonderful path. Um, the voice is beautiful, and I hope to hear you in the future. Thank you
Okay,
so much for the privilege.
thank you.
Next, we have BSU sophomore tenor, Mr. Raymond Ingram.
Hello, Raymond.
Hello,
How are you?
doing well. How about you?
I am doing fine. All right, so tell us what you're singing, and whenever you're ready, let's do this.
Today I'll be singing Santa Fe from the musical Newsies, music by Alan Menken. Folks, we finally got our headline. Newsies crushed as wolves attack. Crunchy's calling me dumb. It's just too damn slow. Guys are fighting, bleeding, falling. Thanks to good old Captain Jack. Captain Jack just wants to close his eyes and go. Let me go far away, somewhere they will never find me, and tomorrow won't remind me of today. When the city's finally sleeping and the moon looks old and gray, I get on the train that's bound for Santa Fe, and I'm gone, and I'm done. No more running, no more lying, no more fat old men denying me my pain. Just a moon so big and yellow, it turns night right into day. Dreams come true, yeah they do, in Santa Fe. Where does it say you've gotta live and die here? Where does it say a guy can't catch a break? Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future? Even at 17, working your back for someone else's sake. If the life don't seem to suit you, how about a change of scene? Far from the lousy headlines and the deadlines in between. Santa Fe, my old friend, I can't spend my whole life dreaming, though I know that's all I'm seem inclined to do. I ain't getting any younger, and I wanna start brand new. I need space and fresh air, let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save my place, I'll be there. Just be real, it's all I'm asking. Not some painting in my head, cause I'm dead if I can't count on you today. I've got nothing if I ain't got Santa Fe.
Wow. Amazing. Both of you. Man, both of you are just so amazing. Young man, this was beautiful. Cool. So let's see what we can do here. So the very first thing, so from this point on, I want you to think in terms of you being the character, not being who you are right now.
Right.
So when I'm talking to you, I want you to talk in first person character. Who are you, sir?
I'm Jack Kelly.
And what do you do?
I'm a newspaper boy, and I run a little gang called the Newsies. We walk around New York delivering papes and everything to the people of the city.
Cool. Where do you live?
Oh, I live up here in Queens, right now. So you
Mhm.
know, I live by myself. You know, the rest of the newsboys, they live around. We all kind of bunk together sometimes, and it's hard, but you know, just day by day we make it. Want to get out of
Okay.
here, but that's a dream.
Mhm. Okay. So where does this piece fall into the plot of the of what you guys are doing? By the way, I have seen Newsies, and I had a student who did Newsies. He was the rich boy in the show, and I saw him do it here in Nashville. So this piece, this not this piece. Let's do it in the frame of the musical. This moment, what's going on at this moment? What happened before? What's going on now?
Well, honestly, me and my boys, we all just got roughed up, and we took a big loss, a big setback in our movement to just try to get some fair treatment from the guys up above us. And my guy Crutchy, he's at the refuge now. This refuge is a bad place I don't even want to get into. And I'm all alone, and just I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting every single day just for a little bit of respect that I deserve. And I want to go to Santa Fe. It's like I hear things about it all the time. I see pictures. I might have not have ever been, but I know what it's like in a way.
Yeah. How do you think you're going to get there?
Save up enough money, catch a train, maybe hop on the back of a bus or something. Just got to do something to get out of here, because New York it's a great place, but I don't think I can be here much longer. I've done all I can in this city, and I think this city is just somewhere where I need to grow out of. I need to get out of here.
And just there, in your expression of all of that, I felt the voice itself come to that realization, and the mind come to that realization, and the heart come to that realization. This is one of those defining moment songs. Almost every musical has one. And in this type of song, we can get so carried away in that emotion that we miss the center root emotion that also needs to be expressed in the midst of this piece being pretty fast. We need to feel that all of that you're just expressing, because it cannot just be in a musical, this moment, this moment. Just like an opera, it's got to be all the moments put together, all the emotions, all the feelings. The timeline in the musical goes pretty fast, of course. So we got to feel all of those emotions, all of those, everything going on in that timeline in this one piece. So it's not just, I'm just going to sing this piece. It's got to have all of that other emotion going along with it. All right. Can we start this again? Partially because when you started it, the Zoom kind of went phased out, which always happens when you're up on the higher part of your voice. So as I want you to think before you sing this, because if you were in a show, you would have built up your character up to this moment. When you're getting ready to do this by itself, isolated, of course, in an audition for your juries, whatever you got to sing this for, you got to get into the moment as if you've been in the moment from the start to this point. So let's hear that again, all right? And I may stop you along the way. So let's hear that again.
All right, ready? Yes.
So get into the character, get into that moment.
We finally got our headline. Newsies crush, just bulls attack. Crushy's calling me. Dumb Crips just too damn slow. Guys are fighting, bleeding falling. Thanks to good old Captain Jack. Captain Jack just wants to close his eyes and go. Let me go far away, somewhere they won't never find me, and tomorrow won't remind me of today.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Very good, very good. At that beginning, it didn't feel like this phrase, this phrase, this phrase. It felt like continuous motion. I didn't feel the gaps in between. I felt that passion. I felt that everything. Good, very good. Coming into the singing part. So I'm gonna ask you something about your breath support. What's going on with your breathing at this point?
Let's see. I would say I'm very riled up in the moment.
And that's what I'm hearing in your support. The air is coming up right up in here. So your first notes, let me go. I'm hearing that it's like, let me go. It's right here. The problem is this piece is early in the musical, so to speak, and you have a whole lot more singing to do coming at the end. So you have to be able to stay in the body support now, as opposed to creeping it up there. So there's got to be a different way of finding that emotion so it just doesn't get up in here. Allow that emotion to come from your support and then express itself thusly. Can we start again from the beginning? Because it's hard to get into this passage the way you're doing it. But are you feeling what I'm feeling, what I'm telling you?
It's like you wanted me to come more from my diaphragm rather than like my chest.
Right up in, yeah, because what's going on right here, you can diaphragm with a little bit of what you're doing to chesting, but what is happening is you're closing off right up in here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm hearing and that's what I'm seeing you do. Am I right? And what I'm hearing. Yeah, you're closing off. And again, if you were to do this in a real show, this is only roughly what 25 to 30 minutes into the musical, I guess. I'm trying to remember this or so. And you got a love scene coming up. You got another major thing to do. Plus you got the whole strike coming up towards this. So you got to really find yourself in the school. Let's start from the beginning and let's see if you can try to do that.
Okay. Folks, we finally got our headline. Newsies crushed his Bulls attack. Crunchy's calling me, don't groups just too damn slow. Guys are fighting, bleeding, falling. Thanks to good old Captain Jack. Captain Jack just wants to close his eyes and go. Let me go far away, somewhere they won't ever find me, and tomorrow won't remind me of today. When the city's finally sleeping and the moon looks old and gray, I get on a train that's bound for Santa Fe, and I'm gone, and I'm done. No,
okay, hold on. I'm trying to wait until the Zoom kind of fades out. There we are. How did that feel?
That felt better.
That felt better. Did you feel it up in here?
No, I felt it all in my. I was right here in my diaphragm in my stomach. I didn't feel nothing up here.
You felt nothing up here, and what I heard was a lot more of your core sound, as opposed to that yelly feeling that I was feeling before. I heard more of the core. You weren't yelling, but it was so tight.
Right.
I heard more of that core sound, and when you start at the beginning, which you're speaking the words at the beginning rather than the sung phrases you're speaking them, you even started then in that support. And I heard more of the words also. So it wasn't like, folks, we got it together all this night. It was all in that body. Cool. So before Miss Simpson says time is up, let's see, where do we stop?
You have 13 minutes. You're good.
Okay, where did we stop? I get on the train for Santa Fe. Can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also let me go far away. He has written here passionately, more freely. That's what happened also when you got into your support. On the low C, more today. Of course, in an ideal situation, it would be on microphone. Just give it a little bit more oomph. We don't have to worry about right now. Let's start from when the city's finally sleeping. I think that's a good where to start. Good place rather to start. Stay in that character, everything else. Let's start from that when the city's finally sleeping.
All right. The city's finally sleeping, and the moon looks old and gray. I get on a train that's bound for Santa Fe, and I'm gone, and I'm
okay, right there. Stay in the. Hold on. Stay in the body. I see the excitement, and I'm gone, but it's still got to be in the body because it's going to scratch up in here. You see what I'm saying? Keep it in the body. All right. Can we start from? And I get on the train that's bound for Santa Fe. Can we start there?
Yeah, got it.
And stay in the body.
I get on the train that's bound for Santa Fe, and I'm gone, and I'm done. No more running, no more lying, no more fat old man denying me my pay. Just a moon so big and yellow, it turns night right into day. Dreams come true, Where does it say you gotta live and die here? Where does it say a guy can't catch a break? Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future? Even at 17, breaking your back for someone else's sake.
Okay, stop right there. Very good. How does that feel?
That felt better. Like I felt more. It was something I can't say the word. It was like just something.
Yeah, that's it. That's that anchor, man. That's that anchor feeling that, okay, I got this. I got this. Now, we're coming into a part where the words get faster. We have a poco accelerando coming on. Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future, even at 17? These are these feelings in you that has now been pent up. And this is like, I'm about ready to explode. We have to hear every single word very clearly in this phrase. What tends to happen when singers, and I hear it sometimes even on performances, when a person gets to these types of phrases, they kind of get it gone, get it tossed off to the next big legato moments coming up. These words are the words that mean the most in the piece, believe it or not. Everything else is telling, everything else is telling the story before and after. These are the words that tell us the true meaning of what's going on and probably what has happened in the past or what is going on you right now. You say you're at 17 years old, sir? Yeah. That's a lot of living for a young man on the streets. 17 years old. That's a lot of living. I mean, you are the character, so we're staying in first person. You've been on the streets all this time. Where's mom and dad?
Mom died when I was young. Dad, he tried hard growing up, but just the city, it broke him. He's gone.
Yeah.
I've been alone for a while, but I've had my boys with me. They're kind of like my second family now.
Probably more than just second, probably your family in general, you know?
Right.
Awesome. So can we get back to this? I want to hear all of these emotions you're telling me, sir. I want to hear all of that. After Catch a Break, can we start on, for me, it's a top of 5. Why should you only take what you're given and start from there? Stay it in the body. Get yourself back into the full character here. Let's start from there.
Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future? Even at 17, breaking your back for someone else's sake. If life don't seem to suit you, how about a change of scene? Far from the lousy headlines, in the deadlines, in between. Santa Fe, my old friend, I can spend my whole life dreaming, though I know that's all I'm seeming inclined to do. I ain't getting any younger, and I want to start brand new. I need space and fresh air. Let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save my place. I'll be there.
Stop right there. Save my place. So it's not only the support, but placement. So you have it placed. Maybe let's try something. You got it right in here, right? Where you got it placed, where the tone is being placed, right up in here. Okay. It may feel like it's going, say. Can you feel that placement, but anchor it towards say rather than say? You see what I'm saying?
Like,
It's
like more in here.
Yeah, more toward, okay, in other words, where you have the placement anchored is fine, but it's creeping up here. Say, rather than, in other words, keep it there, but think of it going, say. I want to try, that's why me trying something and see what the voice, a little bit more of the core voice is rather than all of this, because again, I want you to save the voice if you were to do this in a full scheme, but to your credit, all of that other stuff was so much better diction-wise. I felt the emotion, I felt the diction, I felt that transition into all of that. How did that feel when you were doing all of that?
That felt better. It just felt more like impactful, like I'm really giving someone a punch in the face, like with my words almost.
Exactly, exactly. That's amazing. Let's see how we can get into this. Santa Fe, just coming back into the Santa Fe theme. Yeah, this is our 82.
Yeah. All right. Santa Fe, my old friend, I can't spend my whole life dreaming, though I know that's all I'm seem inclined to do. I ain't getting any younger, and I wanna start brand new. I need space and fresh air. Let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save my place. I'll be there.
Stop right there. Just don't spread the vowel, but how did that feel?
That felt better. When you say spread the vowel, do you mean
Say.
oh, okay, yeah. I
That's spread. Yeah, I don't mind vowels being spread in musical theater, but that's a bit too spread. Unless you're
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
see, she's telling us 5 minutes. Told you. So it can spread, but it doesn't have to be say because you're closing off space when you do that. That's just something to think about. You can put that in your mix to think about these things. And remember, in master classes, take what I give you or not take what I give you. These are all just to help you frame in some suggestions for both of you. But I think I can hear say. I hear more of the voice rather than say because it's tight up there. I hear more. I hear a little bit more of your core voice when you did that. Awesome. Let's keep going so that we don't lose 5 minutes because we're almost at the end. In the interlude, where he's got these measures here. So what's going on in your head in that interlude? Because normally on stage, you're doing probably some movement, probably going back and forth, you're doing a track, but in a recital or in an audition situation, what's going on in your head?
In my head, I would say like in that, like I've just basically confessed like I want to leave and I basically have nothing left to prove here. I have nothing left to do. Like there's no way that we're gonna beat this crazy obstacle of these people above us. But in this moment where it's just silence and all you hear is the soft piano playing, it's like I'm really debating, should I leave? Because this is where my family is at. This is where my home is at. And yes, I can make a new home, but what am I without really my family? But also, what am I without Santa Fe? Because that's where I've always wanted to be.
Amazing. So in all of that thinking, it's got to go straight into the next lines you sing. So in other words, it can't be this moment I'm thinking about it, and then I sing my lines. That thought process and everything you're doing has got to go straight into those next set of lines. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's got to continue on. This is one of those pieces that everything continues. There's no stopping. The rest period, yeah, you can take your breath and all that stuff, but you put it back into the body, but the thought process continues on. So can we start where he starts the accompaniment and then we just finish up the piece? Stay in that moment.
Just be real, it's all I'm asking. Not some painting in my head, cause I'm dead if I can't count on you today. I've got nothing if I ain't got Santa Fe.
Slightly in the throat. Can we put it in the body?
Yeah.
Let's do that whole thing. Let's do that ending part again since we only got about 2 or 3 minutes. Put it in the body. Give me that whole thing. Better yet, let's just start on Just Be Real. Don't worry about interlude because that was beautiful. Just be real.
Just be real, is all I'm asking. Not some painting in my head, cause I'm dead if I can't count on you today. I've got nothing if I ain't got Santa Fe.
Better. Yeah. Yep. And don't worry about cutting us off on that diphthong. Fay. Delay it just a little bit so you can have more open space. Fay. And cut it off a little bit towards the end. We've run out of time, but what are your, give me one more minute, Ms. Simpson. What are your plans? What are your future goals?
My future plans, honestly, I want to be on Broadway very, very badly. I also just want to get into acting as well, because I'm a theater arts major for the past few years. So I want to do TV, Broadway, film. I also am into playwriting too, so I possibly want a future job at Netflix, being one of their writers.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, brother. You got a lot of things going on. Doing the Broadway thing, for example, if you were to do this role, which would be perfect if you were able to do so, are you taking movement classes, dance, and anything of that sort in the mix of everything else?
Yeah, what's it called?
Yeah.
I'm a dance.
Does Bowie State have a musical theater program? I'm curious.
Theater, it's more theater arts. They have dance and movement. Musical theater is covered, but it's not a central core major like how we would have it at somewhere like Carnegie or Point Park University or even Howard. So
right.
The aspect of musical theater is covered, but I do want to get even deeper into it as I continue my education here.
Absolutely. What classification are you?
I'm a sophomore right now.
Oh, so you're just starting. That's amazing. Well, much success to you, young man. Beautiful voice. What I'm hearing is quite strong and everything. Continue to work on the technique as far as the breathing, as far as getting into the body. As you get older, if you start feeling these tensions and everything else, and you're not really working on the technique, it's not going to help you in the long run when you finally get even more older and you're starting to move on stage and things of that sort. So really work with your teacher with the technique. From time to time, I'm hoping you're learning some classical music as well so that you can really begin to anchor. You're not? You are?
I have classical selections in my repertoire. I just haven't sung them out. I know them like the back of my hand, and I've gotten master classes on them, but I haven't sung them for Professor Felder yet.
Sing them. Because they also help you with the technique and also help you even with the musicality of everything. But for both of you guys, I am so honored to have worked with you. Wonderful. And I can't wait to see you both on the stages. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Ms. Blagmon and Mr. Ingram. Now comes our question and answer session. So if you two students have any questions for Ms. Brown, this is the greatest time to pose them. Ms. Brown, let's talk about your career a little bit. You're our first contralto.
Yeah.
That we've had on the Masterclass series. So there aren't too many. There's some, but there aren't many contraltos out there. Let's talk about your voice type. Do you find, because you are a contralto and because of the intro video that we did, your voice is used more in more newer pieces, more contemporary pieces, more avant-garde pieces? Is that true?
Yeah, that's becoming more evident. For me, I love doing those types of pieces. It's a passion. It's a joy to do new music. As far as I would love to do more traditional in contralto, but I really do love doing these pieces. And yeah, there's a lot of it written in these pieces. Even composers, I often I'm getting these pieces and I'm looking at the composers. I'm like, do y'all really want to keep me in my primo passaggio here? I mean, come on.
Right.
I can sing an F. I can sing a because everything tends to be around that middle C, everything, around that primo passaggio. And I'm like, goodness, man. But
sound, that low female sound, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it to you all day, but I can sing a little bit higher.
Right.
But no, but I really do. I love doing these newer contemporary pieces and getting into African American art songs and beginning to do that. One of the things that you played was the Dorothy Rudmore set, which is an amazing set. That thing, oh, I love it. And if anybody wants to perform that whole entire set,
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, work out.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's heavy on it, and for a mezzo, it's right there in that core for me. I gave it a little bit more oomph when I did those performances, but for me, getting into more African American art song, that is uh, that's a passion for me now. Really a deep passion, particularly pieces that are written low, and I
Mhm.
love doing that. But hey, I just did an IRDA for
Oh,
Nashville Opera. That was one of the green outfits you
yes,
saw
yes, yes,
with all that gold, and I
yes.
was IRDA. That was my first IRDA. Now when I tell people that, they're like, "You've never performed IRDA before that moment?" I'm like, "I auditioned with her every single audition," but
Right, right, right.
but I that was my first one, and that was
Wonderful.
I was it was awesome. So I'm not too old in the career yet. I still want to get out there and do a lot more things.
Understood. So, you teach at Fisk
Hmm.
University. You're a professor at Fisk. What do you find the students coming in to the new students coming in, um, what who are wanting to have a vocal career, and it may be the same at Bowie. But what do you find regarding the students? What mindset do they come in having some idea of what's in store for them, or do they come in and it's a big surprise?
I think it's different than it was back in our day. We may have had hopes and dreams, but we just came into like, for example, a college situation, wondering what's going to happen, how we're going to take care of it, what the path is. These younger people, and I think that's partially because of programs like this, like CAAPA, like other exposures out there, they're now beginning to do their homework. So when they walk in on their freshman year, they
Mm,
pretty much know what they want to do. Like I can tell by both the young people who sang for me today,
mm,
they knew exactly what they want to do. I mean, you got one young lady who has already invested years of classical singing, this young man who wants to do everything in the industry
mhm.
like a Lin Manuel. So
Right, right, right,
and that's what's going on in our young people's heads today, because they have the internet, they have Google to search.
right.
All we had was a library, and hopefully there was some books on the
Encyclopedia
shelf.
Britannica.
Oh my.
That
And
was
don't
our
get me,
internet. That was
that
it.
was that was it. We didn't have a cell phone or nothing, and the
Right,
phonograph record until we
right,
got to CDs
right,
and
right.
everything else. I mean, the young people nowadays have a whole lot more opportunities, exposures, and what's even more incredible is that they can even go online and look at these master classes or anybody else's master classes and get a good idea of what they want. I believe also we as performers, either those of us who are still performing or those of us who are transitioning or those of us in between like I am, we're a little bit more, how to say, open to give advice and to give information.
Right,
I'm not sure about you, but there were times in my career it felt like I wasn't receiving a lot of help from the older ones
right.
um, um, who were in the career. But I believe that we've become more open to share
Mhm,
and more free, and especially, of course, within our own race, where we're seeing young people and we want to see them flourish and shine. And we ourselves are like, we don't want y'all to go through a lot of what we've gone through. We're becoming more protectors and more guardians. So they have a pretty cool mindset of what they want when they walk in the door, especially on the undergraduate level. So when they come to the graduate school level,
right.
it's pretty much an extension of what they've already done. So I think that's what's happening right now, which is pretty cool.
And my last question, we say that we ask this of all the music masters. If you had one piece of advice when you were in school, if someone had told you one piece of advice when you were in school, you have the opportunity to tell these students now, what would that piece of advice be?
I can give them 1,000 pieces of advice, but
But that one thing you didn't know when you came into school that you found when you were in school that you wish you had known.
the one thing I wish I had known, I wish I had known fully my worth and my value,
Hmm.
who I fully am. I honestly, and I'll say this honestly, I struggled with that coming out of high school to college
Mhm.
and trying to figure out it's more than what I wanted to do in life. It was more so who I am and everything else. I believe that if you have a strong, positive understanding, even though you're still in the process of growing, of
Right.
who you are, um, that would help define everything.
Mhm.
The one question I was asked when I was looking for agents,
Mhm.
one of the agents I hooked up with, and she didn't ask me what I wanted to do in opera houses or anything like that. Her first question was, what do you want in life?
Mm.
Do you want a picket fence? Do you want the house? Do you want the dog in the front yard? Do you want the husband? Do you want the children? What do you want in life? And that's all part of how you define yourself as
Absolutely.
to who you are. So I would encourage young people today, take that journey of understanding who you are and don't allow anyone to tell you different.
Right. Right. Wonderful. Thank you. If we can bring Professor Felder on real quick for a few words.
Good day, everyone. Thank you so much to CAAPA and Maestro Brown. Thank you so very much for having a portion of our Bowie State Music and Fine Arts Department. These are two students in several of our classes, including applied voice lessons. We actually started a new class entitled Singing for the Stage, which is kind of a musical theater and ensemble based class. This is a wonderful opportunity for these students as we are having performances as soon as tomorrow at art exhibits and our music seminars next week. So yes, these students are also in our university choir. Hopefully we'll be traveling to South America at the end
Oh,
of the month
wonderful.
with the HBCU 105. So thank you so very, very much for allowing, giving just so much of what we have learned and what you have learned and utilized over the many years of your distinguished career as well. And imparting that, as you said, the Encyclopedia Britannica, all of that, the library, I still have my library card. They say, what's that? And I just say, Google it. So thank you
Right.
so very much on behalf of, again, our fine arts department, our vocal, Jamari is a student of Dr. Marimo Holmes as well in our program here as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we hope to come back to Bowie, hopefully next time in person for our masterclass at your great university.
And
Thank you.
we're excited to partner with CAAPA. I'm giving it to you now on Wednesday, December 13th, as we're doing a community Messiah sing-along. And we are the only place in Prince George's County, Maryland, that promotes Handel's Messiah. So they will actually be performing with part of the CAAPA chorale for that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for letting
Wonderful.
me know. I did not know that. That's wonderful. December
13th.
13th. Wonderful. That's
At 7.
months ahead of time. We heard it here first. You heard it here first.
It was
Thank you so
wonderful,
much.
wonderful working with your students. I really enjoyed the experience, and I hope I said something that would assist and help in any way.
Absolutely did. It's always like I call it the greens and potatoes. Like, mama and daddy tell you to eat the greens and potatoes, but when grandmama or auntie comes in and says the same things, it just feels like it's a whole different experience. And so, but no, it was truly wonderful, and I think we will see some of that, like I said, as soon as tomorrow with some of their performances.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Ms. Brown, do you have some parting words that you would like to say?
Again, CAAPA, thank you so much for the opportunity to work with the students. I wish the students well and many blessings, and Bowie State many blessings as well. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. So this concludes our first CAAPA virtual masterclass for 2023 with students from Bowie State University. I hope everyone enjoyed the performances as well as took away some valuable insight from Ms. Brown. CAAPA would like to thank the Department of Fine and Performing Arts Chair, DeWadris Williams, Professor Brandon Felder, Ms. Jamari Blagmon, Mr. Raymond Ingram, and finally, Ms. Gwendolyn Brown. Thank you for joining us for today's masterclass. Mark your calendars for March 8th, where we will have soprano Andy Moore work with students from Spelman College. If you are interested in having the CAAPA Virtual Masterclass Series partner with your institution, please stay and watch our exit video, which will have our contact information. Thank you everyone for joining, and God bless.